Hey guys, I know it's a little weird for this to be starting off a video just at my hands, but I'm going to be showing you guys how to do the special effects makeup that I've been doing lately. This first video, I'm going to be showing you how to do cuts, like this. This is pretty much like the basic way to go about it, and also how to make your own prosthetics. Let's get started. What you're going to need is some liquid latex. I'm using Ben I's liquid latex. You're also going to need some setting powder. I'm using Max loose powder. A palette to get the color into your wound. Let me open that up really quick if I can. You can also buy color palettes like this at your local Halloween store. This is the Ben I's cream color palette. And you could also use a sponge or brushes. But keep in mind, the brushes that you use are gonna get messed up. Especially with latex work. So be prepared to sacrifice a brush or many. So if you're going to be working on an area that has hair, use regular glue stick. If you don't use this over an area that has hair, you will quickly learn why you should have used this, because taking off latex on an area that has hair is no joke. It freaking hurts. I forgot to mention, you're also going to be needing tweezers, and little scissors. So let's get started. Since I'm pretty sure the latex work I'm going to be using is going to be going up into where I have hair on my arm, I'm going to be taking our glue stick and just going over the area. You want to give it a few coats. Go over it to where you know the hair is smoothed down. And wait until the glue dries. Okay, now you're going to take your liquid latex. And I'm going to be pouring it inside of an old eyelash case. And you could either take the sponge or a brush, but just know you will be pretty much sacrificing it. I'm going to take the sponge and just do a quick layer. You want to make sure that the edges are smoothed out. You're not going to see any lines that go from the wound to your hand so it looks like it's not part of it. So you're just going to do a thin line. I also forgot to mention you're going to be needing tissue. So just take the tissue, get one side of it, rip off a piece that you want to use, and cover the wound. You can rip off the extra or just try and incorporate it if you want. And just lay it down. So now you're going to take some more latex and just go over it. Okay, now you're going to take some more tissue paper and just repeat the process. So far I've done 3 layers. I think that's good for now. Okay, now we wait for it to dry. Okay, now that that's dry, to take away the shine and kind of help blend it in with the rest of your skin, you're going to be taking a foundation powder or just a skin toned powder and a fluffy brush. See, this is what happens to your brush when you don't wait for the latex to dry. But anyways, just take a little bit and just kind of pounce it onto your application. There you go. And aside from the light shining directly on it, you can kind of tell that the shimmer or the shine from the latex kind of went away. Also, if you can see the edges that that the tissue paper made, don't even worry about that. Actually, it looks a lot more defined on camera than it does in person. Okay, now that we've got it set with the powder and it's not sticky and it's not shiny anymore, we're going to be taking the color palette that I showed you before, the Ben Ice color palette. We're going to create our cut. We're going to be taking our scissors and our tweezers and just creating the cut. So you're going to pick a direction where you want the cut to come from. I'm going to be doing it this way. So I'm just going to pick up wherever I want the cut to come from, just pick it up. And because you have the tissue underneath it, it'll tear instead of just pulling, because latex will just pull on you. What you could do is, if you want it to look more of like a jagged cut, then you would just keep pulling with the tweezers. But if you want it to look more like a smooth cut, you would just take scissors. And I have to go this way because I can't cut the other direction.
I've got a date with the coal miner's daughter. This diamond from the world of black. Get it straight, here's my order. 1 serve of sanity. I took a sip from the devil's water. Broken glass under.
Okay, now that you've got that cut right there, you can leave it just thin and slightly open, or you can kind of like run your tweezers in it and kind of open it up. And there you go. Open it up a little bit more. What I usually do is I take about this size brush, it's Ben Ice FB7. So you're going to be taking your black color, or at least that's what I do. I put the black into the cut to kind of add dimension and depth. And if you get it on the edges, that's totally fine. Don't even worry about it. So you've got that all filled in black, so it adds dimension and so it looks deeper. The next thing you're going to do, and don't be afraid to use the same brush, it's totally fine, you just go in for the red. And kind of put it in with the black a little bit, because you want it to look meaty and bloody. And then get it on the edges that you created. So I'm just going to create a little more red around it. Now I'm going to be taking a bit of blue and a little red, and just focus that around the outside of the wound, because this is gonna be like, it's supposed to look bruised, you know, like. But also be careful to not just make like the circle around the wound. You want it to be blended out more, just a little bit on the edges, just so it doesn't look again like you painted on yourself.
My skeleton with skin.
If you still see the skin tones underneath, like with the latex, that's perfectly fine, because again, it's on skin, so you don't want to make it look muddy. So that's what it looks like so far. Alright, and then if you're trying to go for more of like an infected, zombified, like gross look, then you're going to be putting greens and yellows into it. The basis of the infection starts at the wound, so you gotta kind of build it up there and then blend it out. And do it for however long or however much you want to do to kind of get the look that you prefer. Okay, so now that you've got the coloring the way that you want it, what you're gonna do is a little trick that I like to do to kind of make it a little bit more realistic for me, is I like to take a small brush. This is the Ben Eyes RS1. You're gonna put it in the blue and just create little veins coming out of it. They don't have to be really dramatic and out there for everyone to see, because I feel like the more subtle they are, the more realistic they look. And if it helps you, just follow some of the wrinkles in the cut.
Got to thinking about tomorrow. Will it come? Will it come? I'm a lonely driver on this train, a man without a name.
Okay, if you want to add more things, you can go right ahead and do that, but this is pretty much the basis of what you're going to do. You can add blood in here or not, it's all up to you. If you want to make it look more dry, more wet, if you don't want to add as much coloring or detail as I did, that's fine. This is just kind of like the basis for a cut, bloody, just zombified, rotting away sort of wound, you know? Like if you've seen SLC Punk and Heroin Bob when he got the cut on his knuckles, this is pretty much what this look is going for. Just the infected, disgusting wound that is just so wrong. It's so right. Ben Eyes Stage Blood. After using this for a while, I would not recommend it. Here, I'll show you why. And then putting it inside of the cut. And if you can see, it sort of like dissolves and goes away like pretty quick. There you go, there is your wound. Okay, so here's a bit better lighting, I think, that you could see what it actually looks like. There you go, you can see like the edges, the actual cut, the way it moves, the flesh in it. Yeah, you could see the colors in it. There's little veins that I added. So it is.
And I know that time
see all this? Oh, shit. Well, that sucks.